Hey guys, this is my first video, so I'm going to be doing like a tutorial, so my channel is going to be all about crochet, and today I'm going to do a tutorial of the most basic thing in crochet. It's not a chain. If you don't know how to do a chain, I recommend going to look at other videos. I'm going to be teaching you how to make a granny square today. So first, just to let you know what I'm using a 4mm crochet hook with, I can't remember what grade this yarn is, but it's nice and rainbowy. So I'm using a 4mm hook. As I said, you can use whatever size you want. I recommend for beginners using a bigger size hook. So first, you can either make a magic ring or you can use a chain 4 method. I use a chain 4 method. So you're going to chain 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 4 chains, and I'm going to insert, so you can see that, I'm going to insert to that top loop of the first stitch. So insert, and I'm going to do a slip stitch, so that's wrap round and pull through both. When you have a circle, you should just spin it round, and then you have your circle, which you're going to be working into for the first round. So as I said, it's a granny square, so you're going to be making it in a square shape. So in this project, we have something called a granny cluster, which is what the actual granny square is made out of. So each granny cluster is 3 treble crochet, sorry. I'm using UK terms, so treble would be wrap round, insert. I'll show you later. You do 3 of them. So first of all, I like to chain 3 before I start doing that, so I just remember where my place is. So you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to do 2 more double crochets. So 1. So you wrap round, insert, wrap round. You should have 3 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3. Then you wrap round, pull through the first 2. You should have 2 loops on your hook. Wrap round, pull through them 2. Then you do 2 of them. That chain 3 counts as a stitch. Next, you're going to chain 2 for the corner. 1, 2. And you're going to do 3 treble crochets into that circle again. So wrap round, insert, wrap round, pull through 2, wrap round, pull through 2, wrap round, insert, wrap round, insert, no, wrap round, pull through 2, wrap round, pull through 2. So we've got 2, and then you do another one. You just do 3 of them. Then, then you chain 2 again for the corner. So you can see our squares kind of forming. So look, that's the bottom of it. So bottom, corner, side, and you're making another corner, so you chain 2 again. Then you do 3 more treble crochets. So 1, 2, 3. Right, so then you've got another side, and then you're going to chain 2 for your next corner. So this is your 3rd corner. So you wrap round, insert, wrap round, pull through, wrap round, pull through 2, wrap round, pull through 2. You do 3 more double crochets as your cluster. Then, once you're at the end of your round, and it should look like this, so it looks like you should have a piece missing, like that. here, right here's my piece missing. So let me take out my hook quick. So you can see, look, filled in. There's a piece missing here. So you're going to chain 2 as your corner. Hello. Sorry, my cat's just come over. Hello. You want to be with us too? Right, then you go back to your chain 3, and you can see each chain is represented with a V. Well, you insert into that third chain of there. So you should have what looks like 2 loops, but that's just going to count as 1. And you slip stitch into that. Then it should look like that. That's your first like base square. Then you chain 3 again, and we're going to go into the corners this time.
Done the questionnaire for you, so you don't have to do that before. You can just turn up now.
So you're going to go into the corners this time. So we're going into this corner. So you see your chain 3 is close. Whichever corner your chain 3 is closest to, you're going to be going into that one. So your chain 3 counts as a treble crochet. So you're going to do 2 more of them into that corner. 1, 2. Then you're going to chain 2 for your corner. Then into that same corner, you're going to do another set of granny cluster. So 1, 2, 3. Then you go into your next corner, so the next one along. So I just went into that one, so I'm now going to be going into this one. So you're going to do your granny cluster there. Okay, once you've done that, you're going to chain 2 for your corner again, and do that again in that corner. Wait. Then into your next corner, you're going to be doing that same thing again. So granny cluster, chain 2, granny cluster, and you're going to do that all the way around. And I'll meet you at the end of that round. Wait, can I do that? Right, I've just finished that round, and you should have something that looks a little bit like this. So you should see 1, 2, 3, 4 like little squares, and all around you should have like a little border. So you're going to chain 3. Now this time you can see we have an extra hole, and in each round you're going to have another hole, and that hole means you're doing it right. If you don't gain another hole every round, then you're doing it wrong. So you're going to do your granny cluster into this hole, the one that your chain 3 is next to. So mine is going to be this one. 1, So you can see we have 2 corners and 1 middle. So that's a middle. So in the middles, you only do 1 granny cluster, and in the corners you do 2. So done my 1 granny cluster there. You go into a corner now. You do your granny cluster, and you chain 2 through a corner. Get off. Then you do another granny cluster. Oh, my ball of yarn's in the way. 2, 3. Then you're going to go into your middle again and do 3. You're going to do your granny cluster. And you're going to go to a corner again. And you just do that for the whole round and wait for me at the end. Take your time, no need to rush. I'm only halfway done. Best thing to do as a beginner is take your time and not rush. And if it ends up looking bad, you can always feel free to pause, slow down the video or restart it. Right, almost done. Right, and it should look something like this. If you see my colours change, you're not doing anything wrong. You shouldn't change your colour. I'm going to make a tutorial about changing your colour in like one of my next videos. But right now, I'm not changing colour, it's just my multicoloured yarn. So you've done your round 3, and you chain 3, and you should have the hang of it by now. So I'm going to do one more round with you just to make sure you're okay with it. You can always restart the video if you want, and then you should be good, and you should get the hang of granny squares. And that's like you can make blankets out of it, you can make cardigans out of it, you can make jumpers, anything. So one last round with you guys. Take your time, do the steps that we did on our other ones, on our other rounds. And you can mix up your granny squares with a variety of colours and different yarns, and you can use like fluffy yarn with it if you want and stuff. I'm going to make a tutorial on single crochets in one of my next videos because you use them for most amigurumi. And if you're wondering what amigurumi is, I'm going to explain that single crochet tutorial. So go ahead and watch that. And as you go on, so our first round was just 4 granny clusters, our second round was going into the corners, our third round had 1 hole in between, and our fourth round should have 2 holes in between, and then you can just keep on going and going and going. So I'm on my corner, so granny cluster, chain 2, granny cluster again. If you want me to remind you about how you do a granny cluster, I'm about to tell you now. So you get your treble crochet. I'm going to make a treble crochet tutorial as well, maybe. So you do treble crochet and you do 3 treble crochets as your like granny cluster. Plus, this is just my method of doing granny squares. Right, I'm done now. So, you've done your granny square. I'm also going to make a tutorial on fastening off, so don't worry. But you've got your granny square. Here it is. Now you can make an infinity granny square. You just keep on going and going and going until like your yarn ball runs out or whatever. And yeah, that's the end of the tutorial. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.